Alright guys, let's hit this quick because I know you've probably just clicked on this video because you need a quick strategic intervention. Something today isn't going right for you. Maybe you had an early setback or a failure or a difficult interaction earlier in the morning and it's set you back for the day. You need to shift your state right here, right now. Maybe also you're about to go into something and you feel that you're not fully prepared psychologically and emotionally. Perhaps that's a heavy workout, maybe that is a presentation or important meeting at work, or maybe you're just about to have a difficult conversation with someone close to you. Now, whatever it is, whatever reason you clicked on this video, you want something that is immediate and tactical to raise your energy, raise your mood. Now, whilst I'm all about long-term growth strategies, trusting the incremental process, I'm not about get-rich-quick schemes. Equally, there are ways that you can shift your state. Indeed, it is important to the process of long-term investment and long-term progression that we do have short-term fixes in our toolkit that we can pull upon at any time when we need to. So without further ado, allow me to present you 3 different ways you can radically shift your state in 2 minutes or less. So we're gonna go quick fire with these. Number 1 is the power pose. Now, a power pose is all about changing our body language, and as we change our body language, that enacts physiological change that results in psychological change. For those of you who are interested, perhaps you've already seen the TED Talk by Amy Cuddy. Amy Cuddy is a Harvard psychologist and she is the pioneering researcher into power poses. Now, a power pose is simply changing your body language to take dominance and presence over your environment. So some examples of power poses are standing feet shoulder width apart, extending the arms outward, puffing the chest out, having a confident display and confident presence over your environment. Another one you can do is the Wonder Woman. Again, feet shoulder width apart, bring those arms down to the hips, chest out in the Wonder Woman pose. And also, if you want to do a seated power pose, then you may recognize this one as the CEO. Hands behind the head, legs up on the desk, showing who is the boss. Now, what Amy Cuddy has found in her research is that when we hold this type of pose, this power pose, there are some physiological shifts, there's some changes in our biochemistry. And what Amy has found is that when we hold a power pose for just 2 minutes, one of our hormones called testosterone rises by, on average, 25%. Now, I know many of you will associate testosterone with ego, muscles, male sexuality, but testosterone is an important hormone for men and for women. It's essentially our drive hormone. Testosterone is what allows us to be confident and competitive in our environment. If we don't have enough testosterone, we're going to get left behind at the races. So, doing this power pose for just 2 minutes raises your confidence, raises your drive by 25%. Now, also what's going on is our hormone cortisol drops by an average of 20% in this pose. Now, I'm sure many of you who are familiar with biochemistry will know that cortisol is our stress hormone. Not strictly true, but a pretty good summary of what happens when we have cortisol in our system. We have elevated levels of cortisol, we're going to feel stressed, we're going to feel anxious, we're going to be in fight or flight mode. And so holding this power pose for just 2 minutes drops that stress and anxiety by 20%. And what Amy has found is she wanted to look at how we could make this into a real world applicable scenario. And I won't elaborate too much, but essentially she did a study looking at mock job interviews, and she found that holding a power pose for just 2 minutes significantly increased your ability to get a job in that mock job interview. As I said, very, very cool stuff. I want to make this video fairly quick fire, so I recommend go and look at Amy's TED Talk to learn a little bit more. But know that you're able to raise your confidence and your drive and drop your stress and anxiety with just this 2-minute intervention. Now, another intervention that you can use is using affirmations. Now, I also have a whole video on affirmations, how to create them, how to use them, how to not use them, as many practitioners in the field, I think, are teaching poor practice when it comes to affirmations. Again, if this is something you want to look into a little bit more, then you can find it on my channel. The video is called Why You're Probably Doing Affirmations Wrong and How to Fix Them. But what I want you to know is that when we use affirmations as an immediate strategic intervention, we take advantage of something called the 90-second rule. So when we have a thought, that thought produces a chemical reaction. If it's positive or negative, it will release chemicals and hormones related to that positive or negative thought. And the levels of that chemical will stay in our system for roughly 90 seconds. What allows the chemicals to keep on staying in our bloodstream and ultimately make us feel happy, sad, angry, upset, whatever it is through continuously thinking a thought. Now here's where affirmations come in. Affirmations are saying empowering statements to yourself again and again. Things like, I feel my ability to thrive in this situation. I know that I have a source of confidence within me. I understand that I can find peace when I choose to. When we start to say these affirmations, we start to interrupt our thought pattern at the time. Because saying these affirmations is quite a complex process. We have the linguistic process of saying the word. We focus our attention on the semantics and the feeling, the vibration of the phrase. And also, if you combine this with some visual imagery, if you're saying these affirmations and also visualizing the state that you want to get into, the state that partners with these affirmations, then you take up a lot of your cognitive capacity. And if you're able to do this for just 90 seconds, you've interrupted that thought pattern, and whatever bad chemicals are in your system will start to dissipate. So again, this is very, very cool. You can actually combine this strategy with the previous one, so you can stand in a power pose and be doing affirmations. Now, understand that affirmations might not be able to be done in the workplace, in a public place, otherwise you'll get some strange stares and glances. But if you're able to take yourself away into a private space, if you're able to find a space where maybe you're not bellowing these affirmations out, you can say them to yourself calmly and confidently, perhaps in the bathroom or somewhere outside maybe where you're able to get a little bit of privacy. Get yourself a quick power pose, start saying these affirmations. You can even have some affirmations stored on your phone and you can read them to yourself whenever you're in a state and you want to shift into something more positive. So affirmations is our second strategy. Now our third strategy is a technique called anchoring. And what this does is it combines a physical movement with a psychological state. So what we do is we have a repetitive movement. I do one that's called Peace Begins With Me. And all that happens here is you get your thumb and fingers and you press them together like so. And each finger represents a word. Peace begins with me. So we have peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. So every time I tap the thumb and finger together, I'm saying to myself, out loud if possible, in my head if that's not convenient, peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. As I'm doing this, I conjure a mental image of the state that I want to be in. A calm and peaceful state, a happy and gratuitous state, whatever that might be. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. You notice as I'm saying this, I slow the tempo of the words, I slow down my breathing, and what you've essentially done here is you've opened up a dial on your physiological system. And you can start to turn the dial down. As you slow the finger presses, you bring your breathing in line with the finger presses, the speed of the mantra, peace begins with me, and you really focus on that mental imagery, you start to shift your body out of what is likely to be a fight or flight mode, if you're feeling the need to do this, into a rest and digest mode, where everything in your body is more optimized and you're more able to be in the most optimal state to make decisions and interact, and ultimately to go out there and do whatever it is that needs to be done. Now, the thing I like about this strategy in particular, unlike our power pose or our affirmations, which are not the most discreet of things, having to stand in a particular posture or say these affirmations to yourself, the anchor can be 100% discreet. You can do it in your pocket, you can do it under the desk at work. Even if you are standing on stage giving a presentation, you could have your hand behind your back doing the anchor. Nobody would know. So this one in particular is a really useful one to have in your toolkit. Whatever scenario or situation you might find yourself in where you need to shift your mood, you can use this anchor. So there are 3 quick strategies that you can use to shift your state in 2 minutes or less. I've deliberately made this video super fast. I haven't elaborated too much on some of the background behind why these techniques are so effective. But if you would like to learn a little bit more, I'll include links in the video below. This is designed just to give you the what. It doesn't matter about the how, whatever you need right now, whether it's resetting that crappy day, whether you've got an important situation to go and confront right now. You don't care about the how right now, you just need to know the what. David, give me something right now that's going to help me for this particular situation. And I hope that one of these 3 strategies is going to be the one that suits you and is the one that's right for you in this particular situation. So guys, I hope this information is useful to you. As I said, there's so much more to learn about these things. I will supply the links below. But as always guys, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you found some value out of it. Now go out there and live your life of love and service. I'll be speaking to you soon. David. Hey guys, it's David again. Just a quick couple things to cover before you have to shoot off. First of all, if you liked this video and if you've been enjoying the content on the channel thus far, then could I ask you to please click that big red subscribe button below. That way you're sure never to miss any content and you can keep up with all the training and knowledge that I'm sharing on the channel. Second of all, if you feel that this video was impactful for you, and if you feel that there's a person or a group in your life who could really benefit from the message in this video, could I ask you please to share it with them? Share it with anyone who you could feel could benefit from this training. You see, I'm doing everything I can to get my message out there to all the people who need to hear it, but there's only so much I can do by myself. So I'm asking you guys, as my fans and supporters, to help me spread this message and help impact as many people's lives as possible. And then third of all, if you're interested in finding out a little bit more about my story and the 3 most powerful life lessons I've learned, then you can find this in my latest book, The Last 60 Minutes. This is a book that will help you find meaning and vibrancy in your life. Go to the video description below and there'll be a link where you can look at the book and find out more information about it. And if you find yourself reading it, I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for in there. So guys, until next time, remember to go out there and live a life of love and service. I look forward to speaking to you soon.